Hi everybody, my name is Josh Chase. I work for BGA Retirement Advisors. I am a retirement plan advisor, which means my focus is to work with companies, mostly here in the state of Maine, work with companies to help them manage their retirement plan that they offer to their employees. And I've been doing this for a little bit more than 15 years. I've been in the financial services profession for close to 20 years, which I joined a few years after college. So welcome to the Junior Achievement Speaker Series. I'm happy to be participating in this, and I hope you find this information useful as you continue on your own career path. I grew up in Maine, in central Maine, near Augusta, a small town called Whitefield, and currently live in Portland, and went to school at the University of Maine up in Orono, and I loved it, had a great time up there. When I went there, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do for a career, and I ultimately ended up studying journalism, which I enjoyed while I was at school. And when I graduated from college, the one thing I did know was I did not want to be a journalist. So ultimately, I ended up bouncing around a couple of different jobs, being mostly working in customer service related jobs, answering phones for a number of different companies, just managing customer service responsibilities. And while it wasn't ultimately what I wanted to do, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, so needed to do something that provided income for me, and ultimately that was what it was. The fork in the road for me ultimately, where I really decided what I wanted to do for my life, was shortly after college. I had two jobs, actually two customer service jobs. One was for a financial services company, answering the phone during the day from mutual fund shareholders. So folks would call in and ask about their investments, and I would answer basic questions for them. And in the evenings, I worked at LL Bean in their customer service department, taking catalog orders from people who were ordering items via the telephone. I was working probably close to 15, 16 hours a day, and I was exhausted. So I remember clearly I was at my daytime job, and I was in a meeting with probably 8 to 10 people sitting around the table at the meeting. And you know when you get really tired and ultimately you start to blink, and when you're really tired, those blinks become a little bit longer. So I would blink, my eyes would stay closed for a few seconds, and I would open my eyes, and then I would close them for a little bit longer. And ultimately, I sort of closed my eyes and I fell asleep. And I remember clearly when I opened my eyes, my boss, who was in the meeting, was looking right at me. And he said, "Josh, did you have a good nap?" And it was extremely embarrassing. I was horrified at the situation, and ultimately got through it, and everything was fine. But I remember clearly at that point, I said, okay, I can no longer be doing this. I need to pick a job. I need to pick a career. I think I was probably 23 years old at the time. I'm like, I need to do something with my life. What is it? And ultimately, it was that daytime job. Although that particular day I was extremely exhausted, I really, really liked the financial services profession. So I quit my nighttime job and I focused on that daytime job, and I jumped headfirst right into the deep end, and I was all in with that career. I ultimately ended up doing additional studies in my profession. There are certain licenses and designations that help you move forward in that career, and what I got what's called a Series 6 and a Series 7 designation, a Series 66, and ultimately studied for and was successful in getting my Certified Financial Planner designation. I absolutely love the work that I do now, and sort of found my way into working with retirement plans, which is kind of a niche in the financial services profession. So I work with 401ks and 403b type of retirement plans. So as I said at the beginning, what I do is I work with companies. You could pick a small company, a large company, any company that has employees, whether it's just a handful of employees or they have 500 or 1,000 employees. oftentimes they will offer those employees a benefit, an employee benefit called a retirement plan. And there's different types of retirement plans that you can offer. So as a retirement plan advisor, I help that employer determine what is the best type of retirement plan to offer for their employees. And ultimately, I work with the individual employees to help them understand how the benefit works, to help them understand how much money they should be saving to successfully reach retirement, how much money they should be putting into particular investments. And I absolutely love that. I love being able to educate adults on how this works, because unfortunately in society right now, financial literacy for a lot of folks is very low, meaning a lot of well-educated professional workers do not understand basic finances and do not understand what they should be doing from a retirement savings perspective. So my guess is the majority of the people who are watching this video, you have maybe not even had your first job yet, let alone have begun to think about retirement. But what I would encourage you to do, although it's focusing on the short term from a career standpoint is important, I would encourage you, when you begin to earn those first dollars in your career, as best as you can, think about long term. Think about saving a little bit for yourself for the long term. What I often say to people is, retirement is inevitable. Everybody will reach retirement at some point. Although it's possible to work until the day you die, I don't think anybody wants that. So thinking about that future is probably one of the best pieces of advice that I can give to you. Just think about long-term saving a little bit, what you can do, and how that's going to make a difference for you in the future. So from a career standpoint, another thing that I would say, and I think my story highlights that a little bit, it's certainly important to have a plan when thinking about your career. It's certainly important to think about what it is that you want to study in college. It's certainly important to think about how you're going to build that career. But I would say it is okay if you don't have a plan yet. I did not have a plan. I went to college. It was important. It helped me. It opened my eyes to all sorts of opportunities that exist out there in the world. It really allowed me to become open-minded about different careers, about the way people think, about the way the world is. So I wouldn't take that away for anything. However, when I was in college, I really didn't know what it is that I wanted to do. And ultimately, my plan came together when I fell asleep in a meeting, which was not really what I would encourage you to do. However, what I would say is it is okay if you don't have a plan. Ultimately, things will come together and it will work out. And you can bounce around from job to job for a period of time, or even switch careers. And I know a lot of successful, happy people make mid-career changes, meaning they'll do one thing up until their 30s and 40s and sometimes even their 50s, and they'll completely change professions, which again, I would say is certainly okay. Thinking about what it is that you want to do is always an important thing to do. But again, if you don't have a plan, it is quite okay. Financial services, the profession that I'm in, I absolutely love it. I didn't think about it until my early 20s, but I would encourage you, if you're even considering anything in financial services, it can be a great career, a great profession. There are so many avenues that you can take with in the financial services profession. And as I mentioned, the work that I do in retirement planning is certainly a niche, and it's becoming more and more of a niche type of service within financial services. And I absolutely love it. And I guess the final thing I'll say for me and my career and what I'm doing is, and I did learn this shortly after, probably a year or two after, a couple of years after I fell asleep in that meeting, I learned that the work that I do, I absolutely love it, and it was what I was meant to do, and it is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my career. So while I didn't realize it when I was in high school, I didn't realize it when I was in college, and it even took me a couple of years after college. But somehow when I fell into this particular profession, it was a moment that I realized this is it. This is what I was meant to do. And truly it's made me, from a career perspective, as happy as I could ever be. And I still have a lot of career left in me, and without a doubt, this is what I'm going to be doing the rest of my life, and I absolutely love it. So I say, and that is what I would wish for each of you, and anybody for that matter, is if you can find something that you love to do and you're able to do it for the rest of your life, it is extremely rewarding and fulfilling. So appreciate you taking the time to listen to this, and I certainly welcome any opportunities to speak with anyone that's interested. Again, my name is Josh Chase. I work for BGA Retirement Advisors. We have an office in Lewiston and in Portland. And if you want to reach out to me by email, my email address is jchase@bgaretirement.com. Thank you.